Today on Channel 9. For months, 9 Investigates has been exposing the wrongdoings committed by the Social Security Administration. Now hear how the SSA is responding to the Americans fighting to receive their benefits. Plus, an important road renovation between Orange and Lake County remains only half finished. Which county may be causing the holdup? Plus, a local mayor is under fire after allegedly misusing taxpayer dollars. What city commissioners plan to do about the situation? Live starting at 4 on Channel 9 Eyewitness News. This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 4. Coverage you can count on.
Transgender athletes are officially banned across the country from participating in women's sports. How the White House plans to make private organizations comply.
But first, a local mayor under fire for spending taxpayer money on a trip to the nation's capital.
It's a historic event. Everybody's entitled to go. But why do we have to pay for it?
Channel 9 found out how commissioners are now taking action against him. Deltona's mayor is facing backlash right now for attending the presidential inauguration, and the taxpayers paid for it. Good afternoon. I'm Greg Warmeth.
And I'm Darlene Jones. Commissioners are now planning a vote of no confidence at the next meeting. Channel 9 Volusia County reporter Demi Johnson is live at Deltona City Hall where that meeting will happen. And Demi, you spoke with the mayor on the phone this morning.
Yeah, Darlene, that was at about 10:30 this morning, and at the time he told me that he would get me a statement by this afternoon. I heard from him one more time at about 1 o'clock, and he said, I'll give you a statement in an hour, and now I haven't heard from him since. Now, commissioners say the mayor violated city policy by going on this trip and not getting their approval first. And the policy also states that commissioners are supposed to approve any city travel for any city employee. The next meeting is February 17th. That's when the vote of no confidence will happen. Live in Deltona, Demi Johnson, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, Demi, thank you. And we just learned in the last 2 hours, the suspect in this woman's death is now facing a first-degree murder charge. The charges were added because 85-year-old Lucy Pat Curl was taken off life support, and she passed away this morning. Orlando police say Ronald Davis posed as a community service officer and forced his way into her home last Friday. Police say he repeatedly hit her in the head. Channel 9 also learned that 8 months prior to this attack, Davis served 15 years in prison for a robbery where he held a woman against her will there. The family is asking for privacy as they get through this difficult time. They say a celebration of life service will be held on February 16th at First Baptist Church of Orlando, where she was a longtime member. Condolences to her family. It's been tough. Well, President Donald Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship has been blocked by a second federal judge. During a hearing today, U.S. District Judge Deborah Boardman said the order is unconstitutional and, quote, runs counter to our nation's 250-year history. The order was almost immediately met with several legal challenges, and a different judge placed it on hold. Boardman also said no court in the U.S. has ever backed the Trump administration's interpretation on this matter. The case in question was brought by 5 pregnant women in Maryland whose children could be affected by the executive order.
We are following a developing story from Washington, D.C., where President Donald Trump is expected to sign an executive order banning transgender athletes from participating in women's sports. Rena Roy reports it follows similar orders targeting the transgender community. Now, the executive order primarily targets college athletes, but just for perspective, there are about 520,000 student athletes in the U.S. About 32 are openly transgender, according to the NCAA. That executive order also directs the U.S. Secretary of State to push for changes within the International Olympic Committee to maintain single-sex competition.
Former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi is planning to take swift action in the Justice Department on her first full day as Attorney General. She was sworn in this afternoon in the Oval Office by Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. Bondi is expected to issue orders to begin undoing legal moves from the Biden administration related to the January 6th Capitol attack. After taking the oath, she promised her loyalty to the Trump administration and to, quote, make America safe again.
Thank you, President Trump. I've known you for many, many years, and I will not let you down. I am truly honored that you have asked me to take on this role, and I will make you proud, and I will make this country proud.
Thank you. During her recent confirmation hearing, Bondi took aim at what she called the weaponization of then-President Joe Biden's Justice Department, but she said that she would not improperly target people with criminal probes.
Well, it was another day in these winter months, but we certainly didn't know it because here in Florida, it lasts a few weeks, a few days sometimes. Certified Chief Meteorologist Tom Terry is in Severe Weather Center 9. Tom, it was hot out there. That's all I mean, hot.
It's 84. Yeah, it's and you know, the sun angle is getting higher in the sky. The sun usually is low on the horizon in the winter. The days are shorter. We don't get as much heat directly from the sun. Now the sun angle is getting higher and higher as the days get longer. And yes, it is certainly very warm. Something different today versus this time yesterday. Remember, we were watching yesterday offshore, a big thick fog bank that rolled all the way in. So we've at least gotten rid of that for the moment. So a little bit different today. We're in the upper 70s along the beaches now. There's that very toasty 84 Orlando, also up in DeLand at the airport there. So we're certainly feeling like spring. 84 today, 10 degrees above normal. This weekend, just a tick warmer. So we'll be talking more about that and how long we're going to keep this spring-like weather rolling. We're also going to be taking a look at the fog situation for later tonight. I think it's going to be more of an issue along the west coast, but it's going to be a bit more pervasive as we head closer to the weekend, and I'll show you what's going to cause that to happen coming up in just a few minutes. Darlene?
Thanks, Tom. Governor Ron DeSantis spoke today at Florida International University about insurance issues here in the state. Governor DeSantis says the state of Florida had the lowest homeowners insurance premium increases in 2024. The governor says major car insurance companies in Florida will be providing lower premiums for customers in 2025.
5 people are in jail after a drug bust in Flagler County. The Flagler County Sheriff's Office raided a home yesterday morning on Wood Hollow Lane in Palm Coast. They say they found fentanyl, marijuana, and other drugs inside. Brittany Cowart, Franklin Crawley Jr., Bridget Dubina, and Josiah Feimster were all arrested on drug charges. Another man, Christopher DiStefano, was arrested for obstruction.
Sanford police arrested a woman accused of shooting a man to death during a fight last Friday. Sarah Jamison saw a judge this afternoon and faces a charge of second-degree murder. Brandon Sullivan was shot and killed at an apartment complex on Wyndham Crest Boulevard. Today, family and friends were at that court appearance.
He was the sweetest, most goofiest, silliest, happiest person, and he loved his kids more than anything in this world, and he would have done anything for them, and he didn't deserve this.
Police say the two knew each other. Jamison is being held in jail with no bond. Coming up here on Eyewitness News at 6, Channel 9's Daryl Matthews will walk us through some of the compelling interviews with that victim's family. Greg?
All right, Darlene, covering Brevard County, a live look right now at beautiful Port Canaveral behind me, and it could see the best quarter ever financially. Spring break around the corner, and cruise bookings are strong. And right now, the port is actually preparing to upgrade at least one cruise terminal to accommodate more of these beautiful ships. And Channel 9's Melanie Holt is live at Port Canaveral for us. And Mel, the port CEO told you today major cruise lines are already getting creative to get their passengers in and out of our port.
He told me cruise lines like Disney are now sailing out of this port every other Wednesday. There was a time when there were no Wednesday sailings, but the major cruise lines are getting creative with their schedules to accommodate more passengers. And the port is forecasting cruise traffic well into the future. They say by 2027, they anticipate there will be just 15 days here at the port when there isn't a cruise ship lined up at one of those berths. Live here at Port Canaveral, Melody Holt, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Mel. Politics in 2 central Florida counties has a road disconnected. Coming up, the project that's been 20 years in the making just may have them coming together soon. Tom?
Well, here's a live view of the world's most famous beach. Fantastic weather. There are some clouds just offshore. I'm taking a look into the weekend and searching for rain.
Man, what a great view. Thank you, Tom. And calls for a nationwide boycott happening right now of Target. Next, we'll hear from one designer whose clothes were sold in Target on why he and others no longer support that company.
Sky Witness 9 on Channel 9 Eyewitness News, bringing you closer to the scene during live breaking news. Sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
Be prepared for your entire day ahead.
With Channel 9 Eyewitness News this morning.
We'll have the major local and breaking news happening right now.
And the news that happened from overnight.
Plus, with weather and traffic every 10 minutes.
We'll get you to work or school on time with an accurate forecast to plan your day.
Town by town and city by city.
We'll make sure you know exactly what to expect before you leave home.
Eyewitness News this morning, weekdays starting at 4:30 a.m.
That's a major breaking news happening right now, and maybe you can see it off in the distance there. It's the far lanes that are impacted here. This is the scene. This is along I-4 eastbound in Seminole County. All those lanes are closed. This crash happened less than 30 minutes ago, just before State Road 414. This is around the Longwood area, and this is from Seminole County Fire Department. Just got this update emailed to us. A 7-car crash, 9 patients. 1 person's been transported with minor injuries. There's debris on the highway, and that's why it's shut down. Again, all I-4 eastbound lanes shut down near East Central Parkway's overpass. And if you know anyone that comes that way home, or is that part of their commute, you may want to give them a heads up before they get on the highway. There are alternate routes, but it will be slow going for some time as they investigate this violent crash. Florida Highway Patrol asking for folks to, again, avoid the area. And again, this is something we will stay on top of, but 7 vehicles involved. Darlene?
All right.
I don't think I want to be in a friends with benefits relationship with Target.
A designer you just heard from pulling their brands from Target over the company's plan to remove diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Reporter Audrey Washington explains why the designer feels this is like a slap in the face. Right. Well, I was going to say I can't say it enough, but I had to take off my jacket several times today because it's so hot out there.
Yeah, you know, 84, 85. This is a huge change. This is like what I think it was 47 degrees 2 weeks ago.
Right, right.
That was the high, right? So today, a nearly 40-degree swing. Right? That's welcome to Florida. 76 now at the world's most famous beach, and the early spring has sprung today. 84 so far today in Orlando, and day number 4 in the 80s, well above 10 degrees above. In fact, our average high of 74. And through next week, the heat's going to stay on here, feeling more like the mid to latter part of April, where our average daytime high is around 84, 85. And this weekend, you can't beat it. We're going to keep the sunshine around in the mid 80s as well. And again, this overall pattern, not just us, but throughout the southeast, fewer cold fronts. That also means less rainfall. So make sure you're watering when you can to keep our grass and stuff growing, because everything's trying to bud early. I know we've had pollen and all the leaves are dropping, and Mother Nature's getting into spring mode. 84 right now, DeLand. We're 82 over in Leesburg and into Mount Dora. Here's a look at Early Warning Future Track, our great tool that I've used extensively the last few days. We use it for all sorts of things: rain, wind, hurricanes, severe weather. But this time we can even show you the low clouds and fog that are expected to form here along the Gulf Coast. And the waters are so cold over there. It reminds me of what happens on the West Coast all the time, where they get that sea fog that just kind of rolls in during the day over in San Francisco and up and towards Seattle. So we're going to see this again for the next several days, but more to the west, not quite as much of an East Coast threat as it has been lately. So we'll go patchy fog tonight, 64. Merritt Island, another beautiful day for you tomorrow. We're once again getting close to 80 degrees. And once again tomorrow, as they get ready for our pause in the park on Saturday morning at Lake Eola, we're going to be closer to 84 degrees, 84, 83, 84. Coming up in the next half hour, we're going to get more into this rain outlook and also show you how much rainfall they could get up north. There could be some flood issues there, whereas we're just kind of on the edge of things down in Central Florida. 7-day forecast, the weekend always in view. There's our pause in the park icon. Saturday morning looks good. Sunday, 85 degrees and holding through at least Wednesday. Darlene?
Thanks, Tom. Coming up here on Eyewitness News, some Florida supervisors of elections want to make it easier for you to vote by mail. All new at 5, why they say the current law has created confusion for voters and how they want to change the rules.
And a setback for the most magical place on earth. Coming up, Channel 9 looks at how last year's hurricanes put a damper on Disney and why the impact went beyond park attendance.
I'm Clark Howard. Coming up on Eyewitness News at 4, my latest consumer report that's guaranteed to save you and your family money.
Ready to have some fun? Yeah. Somebody's having a night tonight.
I love this wheel. Yes! Brought to you by Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tampa.
If you don't have any money set aside for emergencies, you are not alone.
Yeah, a lot of people, more than 1 in 4 people, adults actually in the U.S., say they have no emergency savings, according to a Bankrate survey. Channel 9 consumer advisor Clark Howard says he wants you to start one right now. Great advice there. Well, there's a growing shortage of midwives right here in Central Florida. Ahead at 4, the new local program helping to address the critical needs for women and their newborns.
Plus, members of Congress rally on Capitol Hill in support of the U.S. Agency for International Development. Why they're sounding the alarm over the temporary halt in funding.
Plus, as you can tell, construction is officially underway along this problem road that connects Lake to Orange County. I'm Giovanni Diaz reporting from Claremont. Coming up, why residents say this might not address their concerns and how the counties are responding.
This Tower Cam Shot, sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
What if every weekday were a payday? It can be with the WFTV Weekday Payday. Every weekday from February 3rd through the 14th, you have 4 chances to win $1,000. Watch Eyewitness News at 5 and 6 a.m., then 5 and 6 p.m., and wait for the Weekday Payday keyword. Then go to WFTV.com and enter the keyword for that hour. You can enter up to 4 times per day to win $1,000. WFTV's Weekday Payday. Watch for your chance to win. This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 4. Coverage you can count on.
They provide critical care for women and babies.
Midwives provide a special type of care that is just different because it's based in nursing philosophies instead of medicine philosophies.
Channel 9 sees how a new program will address a dire gap here in Central Florida.
But first, multi-county construction chaos.
I just want it to be done. Like, let us know what's happening.
Yes. Tonight, how a project that had residents using a dirt road shortcut is now going through major change.
And speaking of the roads, more on that breaking news. Let's take you back out live to the scene. We are learning all lanes along I-4 East in Seminole County that were closed have now, some of them, opened up, as you can see in this live imagery. We know that 7 vehicles were involved. At least 9 people were taken to the hospital. The crash happened within the hour. This is by 434 near the Longwood area eastbound. So that would be in the direction you would head out of Orange County towards Seminole and then on into Volusia. Again, we've heard there are people injured in the crash, as many as 9 people suffering some injuries. We're reaching out to Florida Highway Patrol for more information on that. And as we look at Traffic Tracker right there, you can see some yellow and then red on your screen. We'll have updates live here on Channel 9 throughout the rest of this newscast.
New here at 4:30, this is the shortcut that has been a nightmare for residents of Claremont and Lake County. Last year, they reached out to Channel 9 to find out who was responsible for building a road extension near the line between Orange and Lake counties. Good afternoon. I'm Darlene Jones.
And I'm Greg Wormuth. Work seems to have started, but residents have reached out to Channel 9's Giovanni Diaz complaining once again. And Gio joins us live from Claremont tonight. And residents there say that even though the project has started, it doesn't really mean that their problem is over.
Hey, Greg. Yeah, not at all. Last time that we were here, last April, we were actually able to cross from where we are here in Claremont, all in Lake County, all the way to Orange County, just about a minute and a half. But now that's all gone. Take a look at the live pictures right now from Drone 9 flying above us here. You can see what this area looks like. Lake County is actually leading this project here. So now it's going to be up to Orange County to decide when or even if this area is actually going to be fully operating. So, of course, we reached out to Orange County for comment, and they told us they're actually working on the design of the project here, but they were not able to actually give us a timeline for when this is going to be done just yet. Now, let me tell you, I spoke with residents here, and they told me that they just feel stuck in the middle of this debate between the two counties, and they said that their commute is actually a nightmare. So we actually timed out how long it takes for us to get from where we are here in Claremont all the way to Orange County with the roads that are actually currently available. And I'll show you how long that was coming up at 5:30. Reporting live in Claremont, I'm Giovanni Diaz, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, Gio, thank you. A serious crash on I-75 caused mayonnaise and diesel fuel to be spilled all over the interstate. Ocala Fire Rescue says that this crash last night involved one car and 3 semi-trucks. One of the semis leaked fuel all over the interstate, with another one leaking mayonnaise and margarine, which complicated the cleanup process. It was a mess. 2 of the semi-truck drivers were transported to the hospital as trauma alerts. The third was taken for evaluation. We're waiting for an update on their condition, but the road is back open. An independent entertainment staple has shuttered in Altamont Springs. Maybe you enjoyed the Altamont Picture Show. Well, it has closed their doors after 20 years of bringing film to the community. They did not elaborate on why they were closing, but they have said that anyone with outstanding gift card balances should contact them, and they'll make certain you get a refund. Well, citrus growers are calling on lawmakers to continue providing research and advertising money to help an industry that has seen production drop more than 90% in less than 3 decades. And if they don't get help, they say that more of the roughly 1,500 remaining citrus growers in our state could have to exit the industry too. Now, appearing before the Senate Agriculture Committee this week, Florida Citrus Mutual CEO Matt Joyner stressed the need to continue providing money for research in the long-running battle against the deadly citrus greening disease.
We've got greening that's already weakening our trees, and then we've got disasters on top of that that are just exasperating our attempts to recover both from greening and from storms.
Florida produced 244 million boxes of oranges and 50 million boxes of grapefruit in 1998 when the industry was at its peak, according to Florida Citrus Mutual. Now, as a comparison, the U.S. Department of Agriculture projected last month that Florida this growing season will produce just 12 million boxes of oranges and 1.2 million boxes of grapefruits.
Greg, right now, lawmakers are rallying with citizens in Washington, D.C., trying to bring awareness right now to the halt in funding for USAID. Laura Aguirre reports critics say it could impact millions of lives abroad and threaten U.S. security. Monday, former Florida U.S. Senator and now U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said he would be acting administrator of USAID. A key exit is shutting down the 429 tonight. Channel 9 anchor Alexa Lorenzo joins us in the studio for a plan on how it could get around it and how it will affect you if you live on the west side.
All right, Alexa, thank you. Covering Orange County, a growing demand for women's health care services is prompting an additional program to be offered at a local college. Advent Health has added a midwifery degree to its schooling program. Channel 9's Sam Martello spoke with the director, who hopes this impacts Central Florida health care in a positive way.
All right, thanks a lot, Sam. Right now, we've got beautiful weather downtown Orlando. We're going to warm it up just a little bit more, and I'm going to do a little bit of a closer look at how close, may not be that close, we'll get some rain toward Florida, darling.
Tom, and next, Disney says 2 hurricanes left quite the mark at theme parks there. Just ahead, why the impact went beyond attendance.
And here's a look at stocks. Lots of green and a big jump for the Dow today. These are the final numbers from New York.
WFTV's Law Talk is sponsored by Community Legal Services.
We're following breaking news here on Eyewitness News at 4. In Orange County, a teacher has been arrested on federal charges accused of having inappropriate conversations online with a child. The school district has confirmed within the last 30 minutes that Brett Bonini worked as a music teacher at Hunters Creek Middle School. The school district says they have notified families of students at that school, and the teacher is now on administrative leave. We have just received the arrest report involving all of this into our newsroom, and we're digging into it now. We'll have those details coming up on Eyewitness News at 5. Greg?
And Darlene, Disney's latest financial report is out, and while the media giant saw some growth in revenue, it wasn't all fireworks. 2 hurricanes, Helene and Milton, left their mark on Disney's theme parks, and as reporter Q McCrae found out today, despite those challenges, Disney says it's staying optimistic about the future.
Today's a big day. It's National Weather Person's Day. It was chosen because John Jeffries, seen here, was born on February 5th, 1744. He was one of America's first weather observers and kept detailed records for decades. Of course, here at Channel 9, we count on our team of certified meteorologists, David Heckard, Cassie Cremy, and of course, the man standing next to me now, Tom Terry.
Talking about fall.
Yes.
I love it. Happy National Weather Person's Day.
Yes, that's a mouthful, right?
Yeah, well, Bluebell came through with their ice cream.
Is that why we got ice cream?
That's why, yes, National. You can thank me later.
Thank you, Tom Terry.
That's fine, yeah. That was good. We've got great weather and something to cool you down, perhaps, because it is awfully warm, 84 in Orlando right now, and that's pretty much scraping up against about as warm as we're going to be able to get this time of the year. Thankfully, because we have, if you like it even hotter, stick around. We're just getting started this year. High today, 84 so far, 10 degrees above average. This weekend, just a notch higher. Could be 85, maybe 86 in a few places. Now, we're also adding just a little bit of extra daylight each day, about an extra minute. And the sun angle gets a little higher, so all these things factor in together to tweak the dial a little bit from 84, 85, maybe 86 degrees, plus some other meteorological factors. Something I'm watching here tonight is the change from yesterday when we had the fog that was rolling in before our SpaceX launch. We had fog rolling through. We also had very high humidity along the coast. The winds just above the Earth's surface a little bit stronger today, so we're kind of making it a little bit less conducive for fog. Not as much expected to form overnight tonight, so a good-looking night if you're heading up to uptown Altamont, taking in a flick or dinner. Temperatures are going to be in the mid-80s for tomorrow, very similar to what we saw today. Let's talk about the extended rain outlook, and of course, we can't get away from the chance for fog redeveloping. I think Friday, Saturday, a bigger issue if you're heading up 75 and I-10 all the way toward Atlanta and back here to the west in the Florida Panhandle, but still not a lot of rainfall. This is Sunday. Super Bowl afternoon looks outstanding at about 85 degrees. Still an isolated shower Monday, about 5–10%, but we're going to be setting up for a more active rain pattern up here to the north all the way through the mid to latter part of next week. In fact, the rain totals for the next 7 days show this kind of an orange color that's going to be between 3 and 5 inches of rain, and that could create some flooding issues. We're talking about some of the mountainous terrain, lots of rivers. For us, not a whole lot, but as we get closer to the end of next week, we may get a little bit better shot at some rain. But in the meantime, Saturday, go to 9family.com. Pause in the park. I'll join you out there. We'll all be walking through a little bit of fog early on and then enjoying 80 degrees at noon as we help to benefit the Pet Alliance of Greater Orlando. Temperatures in the 80s and holding, Greg, for the foreseeable future.
All right, Tom, thank you. A new medical discovery has scientists studying alligators along the Indian River Lagoon. All new at 5, what they're hoping gator biology tells us about improving our own health. Darlene?
And all new at 6, a Seminole County judge was punished today by the state's highest court. The racy language and bad behavior that got him suspended.
Everything has led to this.
The Jeopardy Tournament of Champions.
Who will claim the prize? $250,000.
Anything can happen in a game of Jeopardy.
Brought to you by Gatorland.
Many of us experience back pain from sitting, but in today's local Steals and Deals, Carolyn Gracie may have something to keep you comfortable.
Big news today after a federal judge rules against President Trump's executive order over birthright citizenship.
Yeah, Greg, coming up, what happens next as the dispute over the 14th Amendment continues.
Plus, why Florida Supervisor of Elections across Florida want to change a state law they say is confusing to voters.
And Deltona's mayor is under scrutiny for going to the presidential inauguration on the city's dime. Coming up, we'll read you the statement he just sent to us within the last 20 minutes.